This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
There he is. Look at all that white hair. See? That's all due to the Dolphins right there, baby.
That and kids.
Well, oh, yeah. That kids will do that. Yeah, that'll help out a little bit. But it's mostly Dolphins, really. Let's be honest.
Sure.
It's mostly Dolphins. Although I got to say, and maybe a homer approach to it, considering all the crap that they went through this year, it's not a bad thing to make the playoffs. I get it; they're not much of a playoff team.
It's never a bad team to make the playoffs,
right, man? It's cool to make the playoffs, and I get it. They're so injury riddled now at this point. It's really hard to think that they're going to make some kind of a deep run. But damn, dude, you think about it. If this team was healthy, Alan, they could make some noise in the playoffs.
Maybe.
It'd
be nice to find out, but that's just hypothetical. We saw what they were when they were at their very best. We saw what they were, and they could compete.
Yeah, no doubt.
Now they're not that team.
No, now they're not that team. So explain to me why it took to week 18 for McDaniel to win a challenge, stay with the running game, and use Mike Gesicki.
Well, Mike Gesicki has had a couple of other games as well. I think
four catches. Bro, he had 4 catches.
I understand. One of them, the long one on the right sideline, if you see the replay, I'm not sure that's intended for him because Skyler throws the ball and his arm gets hit just as he's going like this. So I'm going to guess he was going deeper. And with the running game, that was part of the whole thing. I think McDaniel was smart enough to realize coming into this game, the Jets' offensive line has been bad for 2 months, and now they're missing 3 starters off a bad line, which means it's going to be even worse. We can get pressure on Flacco, whether we sack him or not. They didn't even sack him, but he was under duress the entire game. And then the Jets' running game, which has been garbage since Breece Hall got hurt, you knew wasn't going to hurt the Dolphins, and every time they kept trying it, it was 1 yard, 2 yards. So I think McDaniel pretty much figured out quickly that we don't need to get that much done on offense. So let's run the ball a lot, make sure we don't, make turnovers. And if it has to be an ugly slop fest to win, that's what it'll be. And guess what? Depending on which players they have available, it may have to be the formula against Buffalo on Sunday as well.
So what's your gut tell you? Tua was at the stadium. Yeah. Do they even attempt to play him this week? Because I think they should hold him out, but they do crazy shit in the league. So you tell me.
No, it's like I said before. It's like, first of all, I don't want to speculate. I don't know. I think if the Dolphins are told by the doctors he's medically cleared, he's fine to go, and Tua says, I want to go, I don't think the Dolphins are going to proactively say, we don't care what the doctors say. We're going to be, we're going to err on the side of caution here. Even if you're cleared and you want to play, no, you're not playing. I don't think that's where the Dolphins would go. The question now is whether he's going to be cleared by the doctors.
Right. And where do we know anything here? Because we don't even know what has to happen this week. If, let's say, if they're going to activate him, what has to happen? Is there anything that has to happen today, or it doesn't have to happen till Wednesday?
No, Wednesday, to me, the first step toward thinking that there's any chance he plays is you need to see him at practice. I mean, that's one of the steps of the concussion protocol is to return to practice on a limited basis. Well,
but those light workouts, couldn't you do that on a Monday since he didn't play? That's what I'm saying.
As part of the return to, I believe as part of the return to play protocol, that's not. I think it's not like throwing on the side. I believe it's taking part in the practice, but like being limited to certain things, as I recall. So that'd be the first step, and it's very possible that Mike McDaniel speaking later today is his weekly day after the game. And is he going to tell us the same thing he's told us last week, that right now he's proceeding with Teddy and Skyler as the 2 quarterbacks that he's going to work with? It's possible he's going to tell us that. It's possible he's going to say, nothing of the sort. His approach with Tua all along since the concussion has been, don't ask me about anything other than today. And today's feeling good. That's what McDaniel has said, and I don't blame him, because there was a time, I can tell you, like the NHL refused, to say anything publicly, comment whatsoever when it came to concussions. Again, because they're all fickle. Not both of them are the same. It's not like the guy's got a low ankle sprain, okay, 2 to 4 weeks, whatever, and it applies to everybody. It's completely different. So I have no issue with it. I bitch and moan about the lack of information on injuries as much as the next guy. When it comes to concussions, I back down and let the process run its course.
Some fans, they don't care. They want him to play, and they think, okay, if he can't play, then get rid of him already. He can't be dependent on this, that. And so for me personally, I'd rather him just rest the whole season. After Habib's article with Nowinski, I said, this is this guy Nowinski knows his shit. And using the Sidney Crosby example was like a beautiful way of really reaching us and explaining to us, a bonehead like me that is not very smart, the reasoning of why he needs that time to rest, and so, but we have people that are dying to play him, and they're like, no, you got to get him out there if he can play and all that. How do you feel about it? Should, personally, forget about Tua would have played last week, not yesterday. He would have played last week if it's up to his crazy ass. We all know that. So, but how do you feel about all of this? That forget about whatever's cleared or not, how they should handle all of this.
You're asking me to give like an educated opinion on something that's
off of Nowinski. Off of that explanation.
That's correct. But that's one guy, and if I'm the Dolphins and or Tua, I gather information from other sources, and if all the doctors agree, son, you should step back, take some time, and then don't worry about playing until next year. Then you follow the advice. The one thing I will say this about fans, though, those same fans who are like dying to see him play is all wonderful and all that, but then don't complain if something bad happens, and don't complain or don't throw all the like thoughts and prayers when something like happens to DeMar Hamlin, like happened, which was not even related to a concussion issue, it was just a complete freak accident that happened. You can't have it both ways.
No, but you have your fans that also think, well, you never know what could happen. You can make it to the Super Bowl, and it's like, come on, dude. And so this is what I wanted to spin it on people, right?
That does not take precedence over the guy's long-term health. Sorry.
Right. Exactly. No, true. But the reality is this team is so injury riddled. This is not the team that really could get to a Super Bowl and win it anyway. And what I compare it to is the stupidity that we all carried on with Marino. Okay? Well, Marino, got there that early second year, and he thought he was going to go back, and everybody thought he was going to go back. And in hindsight, let's go back and think about that. Let's go use some intelligence, because I don't have a lot left. But let's get back to the intelligence. Okay, so he got there without a running game, without a defense. He lost to a team with a running game and a defense. And then constantly in his division, he had a team by the name of the Buffalo Bills who had a defense and a running game along to go with the offense. You know who are the dumbasses? Marino and the rest of us, me included, that we kept saying, he'll get back. Why would he get back? He never had a running game or a defense. The fact that he just got there was a miracle in itself. And to me,
but you're absolving him of all blame
here. It's ridiculous. You must play Tua. You must play Tua because this is a Super Bowl team. Come on, dude. You don't have a defense and you don't have a running game. You ain't winning no Super Bowl. Come on.
You got a great run defense, but you're absolving Marino of all blame. It's like, dude, they got to 2 more AFC Championship games during which,
I get it.
Let's be honest, Marino was bad in both of those, in 85 against the Patriots and 92 against Buffalo. And to just say, well, it was always, no running game, no defense.
Wait a minute. You're talking about the Patriots when they went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it was 31-14 here, and Marino
Dude,
had a rough game.
we lost that game because we had 3 fumbles in that game.
He threw like 3 picks in that game.
What lost the game were the fumbles. Go look at the game again. What lost
I'll look at the game and I'll go look at the box score because I remember Marino throwing a lot of picks in that game.
No. Marino always threw picks, bro. Come on.
Okay.
That's another misconception that's out there. Go look at Elway and go look at Marino, bro.
Your overall point is well taken. This is the Dolphins are not a Super Bowl team. And here's the other thing too: is for guys, do we really? I mean, how effective is Tua going to be out there if Teron Armstead doesn't play and he's got somebody in his face every 2 seconds? I mean, we talked about the Gesicki play yesterday. For Christ's sake, Skyler couldn't even get the time to get that pass off before somebody hit his arm. It's just right now they are very, very like handicapped offensively because their offensive line is just not holding up.
Yeah. Hell, Eichenberg couldn't even hold up, and they had to get Jones back in.
He got hurt and he came back.
Yeah. So I mean, how'd you think he played? Because allowing the 7 pressures the week before wasn't necessarily a positive sign.
I'll be honest with you. Other than Connor's shotgun issues, I didn't notice any singular players getting beat, but it was just the whole pocket was collapsing way too much, way too early. And then the Jets to run a couple of timely blitzes that also, didn't help the cause. But I mean, the offensive line was just not very impressive, and it wasn't very impressive against the Patriots either.
Yeah. I mean, to their credit, they were facing 2 good fronts. We have to be fair too, okay? They were getting really tested by the Patriots and the Jets. You got to give those guys credit. They do have pretty good defenses overall. By the way, I know it took them 18 weeks, and we started with this, but thank the Lord they stuck with the running game, man. I hope the thumb injury isn't too serious for Mostert because that is one dude that, man, I love the way he was running. He was running hard, dude. Hard. And I've always viewed him more as a finesse guy, actually.
Speed guy.
Right? Speed, finesse, and there's a little nastiness to his running. I like it.
He bulldozed a couple of guys, and there was one run in the open field. He was like going Marshawn Lynch on the Jets over there. No, that was really impressive. And look, they ran the ball well against Buffalo when they played them in that Saturday night game. And
should have kept running.
That absolutely positively has to be a huge part of the game plan if they are to have any shot.
Yeah, and by the way, you called it months ago. Salvon Ahmed, I got to give that young man a lot of props. He doesn't play much, but every time you call him, he's prepared and he's productive. Every single time this year. It's pretty impressive.
That was a huge run that he had, that 7-yard run. It made the game-winning field goal,
a lot easier.
As opposed to being 55, 56 yards, which,
right.
Makes it more difficult. And if you look at the game yesterday, what's the difference in the game? Sanders was 3 for 3. Zerline was 2 for 3, missing from 55, and Sanders hit from 50.
Yeah, no longer Greg the leg.
No,
you're right.
He's gotten bad. He's gotten very, very inconsistent. He's got a big leg still, but he's way inconsistent.
What was he going to go for that 59-yard field goal, or was he going to try? Because he's crazy enough to do it. But was
before the 4th down play? No, you can't do that because if you go for that for a game winning for a game winner, that's one thing. I don't know how much was left, like 4 minutes, whatever, 6 minutes. If you miss that, you give the Jets the ball.
I know
around midfield.
So was he trying? What was he trying to use somebody's timeout? Was he trying to draw him offside? Was he trying to, or was his crazy ass really going to try that? I mean, it's like I don't know what the hell is going on.
No, I think. They'll say whatever they want to say, like about the confidence they have in him. I think they've seen, and again, it's not just that you don't get the 3 points. Is you miss a 55-yard field goal, well, the opponent's got the ball at the 45. So that's.
But his crazy ass did that to start the game and ruined field position for the entire quarter, which was, if there's one thing that he leaves to be desired, he's one of the worst game day coaches I've seen. here in a long time. He's got to get better with his game day management, bro. Look, he finally started using the running game, the Gesicki thing. You've been so hard-headed with him all year. Why? Because he doesn't block? Well, dude, if you're an offensive genius, find a way to use a damn offensive weapon that can make any quarterback's life. Dude, he almost caught that one-hander. When he brought it down, if the defender doesn't get his hand in the way, he traps that ball. He freaking traps that ball.
Yep.
All Gesicki does is make plays. And you have refused to use him all year. And in the last 3 weeks, he has helped you because you actually use him. You know what I mean? He makes circus catches. This is the only Dolphin I've ever seen in my life that got the closest to a hat trick with 3 one-handed catches in one game. He did 2, and he almost got that third. And yesterday, he had that ball. Kudos to the defender getting that arm in the way, man. You know, these are things that he's got to get better at managing the all the things that go on in a game. Really, dude.
No, and it's the thing with being aggressive on fourth down, like know who you're playing. Like pin the Jets at their 15. Are they really going to drive 85 yards very often with that offense? No. So that's the part about it I didn't like.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. All right, we'll talk more about the game at the end of the week. Right now, injury wise, what should we be concerned about coming out of this game? Waddle got a little banged up with the horse collar. We got Brandon Shell, dude, with the left leg, I think it was. Mostert with the thumb injury. Eichenberg came back with the arm injury. What are you most concerned about?
Teron Armstead. Always.
Well, but that's obvious. But I'm talking about these guys.
You didn't mention X, but X just doesn't look like the same guy right now. So,
did I have to mention that? Like, that's been months now that he's a shell of himself, dude. I'm glad he made the play again, by the way.
Big O. This was the first game where, like, it was more visible because it was the first game since that knee injury he had in practice when he banged knees with a teammate, and it was way more obvious yesterday. Of the guys who got injured yesterday, yeah, Shell's the one that's a problem again because it's just an accumulation of things on the offensive line.
And he's been such a find for them, dude.
And it didn't look good. It did not look good. One of those where he got his leg rolled up. So what are you going to do now? You're going to go back to Hunt at right tackle for the whole game and Robert Jones at right guard. Guessing, knock on wood, Armstead can come back. I'm not holding my breath on that one. At some point, it's just the accumulation of injuries there for him. It's just ridiculous.
He only plays in the Tua games. So I'm just wondering if they kind of this week said, what do you think, Teron? Maybe we can get by this week. Do you think with a week's rest, if we win, maybe there's a chance Tua comes back? Can you give us another game next week? And maybe he was, because who knows if he was willing to play this week or not, or were they kind of gambling like, okay, we can get by this week without you. We'll buy you 2 weeks of rest because technically he didn't even play the whole game 2 weeks ago. Then he gets the entire week of rest.
No, he didn't play against New England.
Right. And then he'll get another week's rest here because, he doesn't practice much as it is. So I just wonder if there was any of that gamesmanship going on with his injury, because it's been consistent, dude. He doesn't play the non-Tua games.
I understand that, but again, like I said, though, the last 2 games, it's yet another injury, that's been added to the long list, and where it's now, toe, pec, knee, hip. I mean, it's I'll keep knocking on wood the whole week. Hoping he plays, but I don't know if you can count on him at this point. And so you might be looking at Little, Eichenberg, Williams, Jones, and Hunt. So that's the one injury that's concerning. I'm not overly concerned with Waddle, Mostert. Yeah, unless we're talking about a broken thumb, that would be a major issue. If not, I think hope it'll be okay as well. They need both him and Jeff Wilson.
All right, what do you got going on over at Sports Illustrated, my friend, so folks can check you out?
Everything and anything. Kind of closing the book on the Jets, looking ahead to the Bills, and hopefully Mike McDaniel provides us some major information during his press conference later this afternoon, even though I'm thinking, hey, maybe Byron Jones comes back this week. How about that? And we'll be keeping tabs on what he says, and then anything that pops up related to this playoff matchup, we'll be all over it.
All right, follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL. Remember, all Dolphin fans, you're not really an official Dolphins fan until you bookmark alldolphins.com there and lock it in with Poupart, as he writes about 46 articles every single day. So keeping you informed on everything going on Dolphins. Alain, we will catch up later on in the week, my friend. Playoff football, baby.
Yes, sir. You'll be good.
You got it. There you go. Alain Poupart. Don't forget, call Eric at EJD Construction, 305-433-4843. There's a lot of you now. You're calling EJD Construction because, and by the way, this is only for Dade and Broward County. Those of you now, you're dealing with your insurance and you've got to get you got to renew your policy for your hurricane coverage. And these companies are telling you, wait a minute, your house is a little bit too old right now. It's over 20 years. And the roof needs to be upgraded. It needs to be updated. And so now you've got to call somebody to get it done. EJD Construction can get it done. Custom home construction, major home remodeling, they do it all. Full contractor, baby, fully insured, liability and workers' comp. So whether you need to upgrade your roof, whether you need to redo something in your home, you got to add an addition to your home. Maybe you want to build an efficiency so you can rent it out and make a little extra money. You can do that if you got a property. EJD Construction can do that. One of our listeners built an observation deck. Another one of our listeners built a beautiful backyard where they have an entire kitchen and barbecue and grease trap and everything. I mean, it's awesome. So whatever you can come up with, he can build it, man. Custom home construction. You need to gut that kitchen and modernize it so he or she can have a brand new modern kitchen to work with. EJD Construction, 305-433-4843. That is Eric's cell number. So call Eric at 305-433-4843.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.